What if the magic you needed to create the life of your dreams was coursing through your body right now? The great news is it is, and there's even better news. It's not magic, it's science. And today we're going to talk about how to tap into it. If you go all the way back to Isaac Newton and Newtonian physics, that's what has driven the world of science for decades and decades and decades now. What changed or began to change all that is when Albert Einstein came along with his E=mc² theory of how energy works. And from there forward, science began to take huge strides forward. We began to understand that 99.99999% of our universe is empty space. And what we have found through the field of quantum physics now is that most of that empty space is actually energy and motion. We're understanding now that energy forms itself into waves of different varieties of wavelengths, all the way down to slow moving wavelengths that form particles, solid matter like me and you and this phone I'm talking to you on. But what we're beginning to understand now is that we are made up. 99.99999% of us is that energy, and we can transmit that energy out into our universe, and we can use it to manipulate physical matter, to manipulate literally the quantum field and attract the life of our dreams to us. It works, and it's scientifically based, and we're going to talk a little bit for the next few minutes about how to actually do that in your life. If everything is energy, and your thoughts are made literally of energy, and they pulsate through your body, sending messages to your body to tell it how to behave and what to do and how to function, there is really no limit to what the power of your thoughts can do. You can set in motion all kinds of realities just by the power of your thoughts. Now, there's a couple of steps here that we miss out on, and that's why a lot of us miss out on our dream life. You say, well, Jim, I've tried to think positive. I've got a vision board. I've put it up on the wall in my house. I've looked at it. I've dreamed about it, and it hasn't happened yet. Well, a lot of times we're missing a big piece of the puzzle. It is important that we change our thinking, definitely, because when we start to change our thinking, when we start to think new thoughts, we start to change our behaviors. And when we start to change our behaviors, we begin to change our beliefs. And when our beliefs change, our actions change. And what happens when your actions change? Your reality changes. That's the way this whole transformation process works in our life, and how we draw the life of our dreams to ourselves. It all starts in our thoughts, but thoughts alone will not do it. Now, don't get me wrong, thoughts are powerful. You have an average of 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. For the average person, 90% of the thoughts you are thinking are the exact same thoughts you were thinking yesterday. You see, about 95% of what you do is running on your subconscious programming that's been with you since childhood. So when you decide, I'm going to reprogram my brain to think in a new way, to go in a new direction, to go after a new destiny, you are fighting about 95% of who you are in your mind and in your body, in your heart, and your emotions, and every part of you, with about 5% of new action. And that's going to take some time. That means you're not going to be able to manifest into your life whatever you want overnight. I don't care what the internet gurus tell you and the people on here, they give you quick fixes and say, hey, like my video or buy my product and I'll help you manifest anything in 24 hours. The truth is, it takes time to reprogram ourselves. And reprogramming your thoughts reprograms your behaviors and your beliefs and your actions and your lifestyle, and it reprograms you to become a new you. I love what Joe Dispenza says about this. He said, if you want a new personal reality, you have to have a new personality, because our personality drives our personal reality. The personality that you have built has probably taken you well into, if you're at least this age, into your 30s. That's when most of it is shaped for us. Your life up to now has shaped everything you are. The people who have taught you, the influences that poured into you since birth, your teachers, your parents, the people who raised you, the relationships you've had in your life, your jobs, all that has shaped you into the personality you are. And if you want to change your personal reality, you have to change that personality. And it does begin with thought, but it also has to do with feeling. Feeling is such a big part of this, and I think it's the missing piece for most of us. That's why a lot of our vision boards aren't working. That's why a lot of our positive affirmations maybe aren't working in your life. When I first started on this journey over a year ago, I started with simple things. I started with gratitude, developing an attitude of gratitude. And I'm so glad, because that was foundational for me, and I think it'll be foundational for you, and it's still a big part of my life. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational frequencies of emotion we can operate in, and it's very important. But I started there, and then I added positive affirmations, and way down the road, I added meditation. And I think that, coupled with several ways of looking at how the universe works and the world works, is what has slowly begun to really attract the life of my dreams to me and change my life 100%. I'm in a 180. I'm going in an opposite direction than where I was going a year ago. And it started right here. It started with my thoughts, because thoughts become things. But it really kicked into high gear when I attached emotion to it, when I began to feel in my heart that I could live a new life, that I could be a new person. Quick story about my own kind of journey. I grew up in the evangelical church world, and one of the biggest obstacles for me to overcome was a lack of feeling worthy. Now, I don't blame anybody for this. One of the things about this journey towards being aware of what's going on in this universe and plugging into it is you really become responsible really quickly for your own feelings. Nobody makes me feel anything but me. Jim is in control of his feelings and his emotions. Jim is in control of his thoughts. Nobody makes me think anything other than me. But all these influences, until you become aware, are really shaping how you feel and how you think until you get aware of it and you start to change it. So for me, growing up in that evangelical church world, I was taught over and over, you're not worthy. You are a sinner. You are bad at your core. And somehow you have to overcome that, and through God and power and all these things. And it took me a long time to be able to, with positive affirmation people on YouTube that would say, I am worthy to have the money I want. I am worthy to have my dreams. I am worthy to have this home. It took me a long time to be able to say that and really mean it. And sometimes that ghost still pops up in my head and says, you're not worthy, Jim. You're bad. And the truth is, we're good at our core. I believe that. I think all of us are cut from divine cloth in this time-space continuum. Continuum we call the ether, or we call the field, or whatever it is you call it. I believe there is a source there, a God that drives it all. And whatever you believe about that, there's definitely energy coursing through this universe that seems to have intelligent design. And it took me a long time to realize I'm cut from that cloth. I'm part of that cloth, and it's part of me. And I am good at my core, not bad at my core. And I am worthy of the things the source wants for me, God wants for me. And it's things that are even bigger than I can dream up or imagine. So if you can dream it, you can do it. That's not just like a cliche for positive motivational speakers. The truth is, you can create any reality you want. And it all starts with your thoughts and sending those thoughts out into the ether, out into the quantum field, because there's multiple realities. We'll get into that in a different video where we have more time. But multiple possibilities out there is what quantum physics is figuring out at a scientific level, that there's all these possibilities that exist at once. There's really no time. Time is a measure we have come up with to understand how we move through space and time. The truth is, there's multiple realities going on right now. And do you know what they're finding when they study at a molecular or a subatomic level even? They're finding that those realities, like electrons, for example, do not appear until someone observes them. Used to, if you grew up when I did in science, we had that little model of an atom, and it would be like a styrofoam ball in the science lab and toothpicks in it and little styrofoam balls representing electrons around it, and they rotated like kind of moons around a planet. And now we know that's not true. the nucleus of an atom is surrounded by an electron cloud, and those electrons appear and disappear in random ways. In fact, they appear when an observer observes them. Now, what is that saying? That's saying that we can bring reality into existence by observation. When you set your intention, your observation, your awareness on a reality you want, you've just taken the first step towards your destiny, to bringing it, to attracting it into the dimension you're living in right now, physically bringing it into your material world. You can do this stuff, and I can help you. I want to invite you to subscribe if you've not already done that. In the comments below, tell me what you think about this information. Is it new to you? Is this something you've heard before? Is it BS to you? It's fine. Share that if you think that's what is going on here. Or is this something you want to know more about? Tell me in the comments, because I want to give you more and more of this information that has changed my life. Change your thinking, change your feeling about the life you could be living, and you'll begin to attract it. You'll literally begin to put your finger on it out there in the quantum field and say, that's what I want, and make it a reality that pulls into your own life. And before you know it, you've manifested it and you're living it. You can do it. I believe in you. Let's do it together.